Honda S2000, a car that doesn't just represent engineering, it represents purity. At a time when performance cars were becoming heavier, quieter, and more computer-assisted, Honda built something that went completely against the trend. A lightweight, high-revving, naturally aspirated machine, focused entirely on the driver. The result was a car that would go on to become one of the most celebrated roadsters ever made. It all began in the late 1990s. Honda had just celebrated its 50th anniversary, and the company wanted to create something truly special. Not just another sports car, but a car that embodied everything Honda stood for: innovation, balance, and passion. The engineers wanted a modern tribute to classic roadsters like the Lotus Elan and the Datsun 2000. Small, lightweight, rear-wheel drive, and connected. From that vision, the S2000 was born. The name itself carried meaning. S stood for sports, and 2000 represented the engine's displacement. 2 liters of high-revving perfection. It was simple, clean, and direct, much like the car itself. At the heart of the S2000 was its masterpiece, the F20C engine, a naturally aspirated 2.0-liter four-cylinder that produced 240 horsepower, an astonishing figure for its size. It achieved this not through turbochargers or superchargers, but through precision engineering and an obsession with revs. The red line? 9,000 revolutions per minute. That number alone told you everything you needed to know about the S2000. Every time you pressed the throttle, the car came alive. The first few thousand revs were calm and smooth, but as you climbed higher, everything changed. At around 6,000 revolutions per minute, VTEC engaged and the engine screamed to life. The exhaust notes sharpened, the vibrations intensified, and suddenly you were part of something mechanical and emotional. It was more than just acceleration. It was a feeling, a moment of perfect connection. The S2000 wasn't built to impress on paper. It was built to be felt. It was a car that asked you to be involved, to listen, to respond. Its steering was direct and communicative. Every movement of the wheel transmitted instantly through the chassis. The gear shifter was short, metallic, and perfectly weighted, often described as one of the best manual transmissions ever made. Changing gears in an S2000 wasn't just functional. It was an experience. The design was timeless. Honda gave the S2000 a long, low hood that hinted at the power underneath. The body was smooth and aerodynamic, its proportions perfectly balanced, classic roadster lines with modern edge. It looked light, athletic, and alive, even when standing still. In bright colors, especially that metallic silver and spa yellow, it stood out as something special, something crafted with intention. Inside, everything revolved around the driver. There were no distractions, no unnecessary buttons, no screens. Just a small race-inspired steering wheel, digital tachometer, and a perfectly placed shifter. The seats hugged you in place. The pedals were aligned for heel and toe downshifts, and the view over the long hood made you feel part of the car, not above it. It was a cockpit designed for focus. What truly made the S2000 unique was its balance. The car had a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, something usually reserved for high-end sports cars. Combined with its rigid X-bone chassis and double wishbone suspension, it delivered razor-sharp handling. On winding roads or racetracks, the S2000 was alive, dancing through corners with precision and poise. It rewarded smooth, calculated driving. If you pushed too hard or treated it carelessly, it reminded you who was in control. It was a car that demanded respect, but gave back tenfold to those who understood it. The S2000 wasn't built for everyone. It didn't forgive mistakes easily. It didn't have electronic aids like traction control in its early years. But that was the point. It wasn't trying to make driving easier. It was trying to make it real. Over the years, the S2000 earned its reputation not through luxury or technology, but through purity. Every journalist who drove it came away amazed by its balance and precision. Magazines compared it to cars twice its price: the Porsche Boxster, the BMW Z4, even the Lotus Elise. And yet, the S2000 held its own. It was faster, lighter, and more focused than anyone expected. In motorsport, the S2000 became a favorite among tuners and racers alike. Its engine, though small, responded beautifully to modification, with turbo and supercharger kits pushing its limits even further. But even in stock form, it was a driver's dream. Its chassis could handle more power than Honda ever gave it. It was, in a sense, understated excellence, the perfect canvas for driving passion. Culturally, the S2000 also made its mark. It appeared in The Fast and the Furious as Johnny Tran's black convertible, introducing it to millions of fans around the world. For a generation of young enthusiasts, that brief appearance was enough. The car became an instant icon. The sleek lines, the screaming engine, the street racing attitude. It captured the spirit of early 2000s car culture. But beyond the fame and the flash, the S2000's real magic lies in how it connects with the driver. Every sound, every vibration, every shift, it all feels alive. You don't just drive it, you become part of it. It's one of those rare cars that reminds you why you fell in love with driving in the first place. Honda continued to refine the S2000 throughout its production. The later AP2 model featured a slightly larger 2.2-liter engine, more torque, and improved mid-range power. It was a bit more refined, a bit easier to live with, but still maintained that raw, mechanical soul. Even as emissions regulations and changing market tastes began to close in, Honda refused to compromise its vision. When production ended in 2009, the world lost one of its last true analog sports cars. There would be faster cars and more powerful ones, but none quite like the S2000. It was a symbol of what Honda could do when engineers were allowed to chase perfection. Every nut, bolt, and gear was designed with passion, not marketing. Today, the S2000 is a modern classic. Prices are climbing, and enthusiasts around the world seek clean, unmodified examples. It's not just nostalgia, it's respect. Respect for a car that dared to be different, that dared to put the driver above all else. Even now, more than 20 years later, it can stand next to modern sports cars and still hold its own. Not because of technology, but because of soul. When you drive an S2000, you understand why it's special. The engine sings to 9,000 revolutions per minute. The chassis talks to you through every curve, and the gearbox clicks into place with mechanical satisfaction. It's a reminder of what driving used to be and what it should be. The Honda S2000 isn't just a car. It's a philosophy, one built on simplicity, precision, and emotion. It's a machine that doesn't need to prove itself with numbers, because the experience speaks louder than any statistic. It's the kind of car that makes you take the long way home, just to hear that engine one more time. The S2000 is proof that perfection doesn't come from excess. It comes from focus. It's proof that great engineering can create something timeless, something that touches both the heart and the hands. The Honda S2000, built by passion, driven by purity, and remembered as one of the greatest drivers cars ever made.